Green light, they're away.
And they're all in their positions, ready to go. There's the light up.
In true Mildura stock.
The green light's on. It was a beautiful start.
He's trying to get across.
Hello, welcome to Burning Questions. I'm back after a week off. I tell you what, it was nice and relaxing across the Easter weekend, but back ready for a big show here on Burning Questions. It's Anzac Day, April 25. And we've got Darren, Carroll and Ever Justice joining us here to have a look at racing at Gloucester Park tonight and also the big meeting at Melton on Saturday. Darren and Ever, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Tim. Good to be back. We missed you over the last week. You were all over the countryside at stall gifts, Hamilton races, stall runners race. You were everywhere.
I was everywhere. And I was even going to go to the stall gallops meeting, but sadly, that was cancelled, so that threw my plans into disarray. But looking forward to getting stuck into the show. And Ever, I haven't had you on for a while, but thanks for making time in your busy schedule.
Yeah, it's been a while, Tim, but thanks for having me back.
Yeah, good stuff. Looking forward to I just got a text from Andy Gath, and he's not going to be able to join us. So looking forward to your insights, particularly on a favourite of ours, Ever, Aardies Peak. I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to say about her, and also on Saturday night, whether you can get her to trot the whole way. Let's start with a question revolving around the big slot race, the Nullarbor, tonight at Gloucester Park in Western Australia. And the first of our sponsors, first of all, Pride's Easy Feed, stand as a proud supporter of the harness racing industry with their set recipes and quality ingredients to give the trainer confidence in what they're feeding. So make the switch to Pride's and start getting the result you've been chasing. Tex loves it in the West. But will the draw prove too big of a test? Tex, of course, is Catch a Wave, trained by Andy Gath, to be driven by Kate Gath. He has barrier 9 in this big slot race tonight. It is at 11:35 p.m. our time. He's got to take on the might of Swayze at 270 and Minstrel, the local, at 215, Catch a Wave at 480. We'll start with you, Ever. I was hoping to have Andy on here because this question was really geared around his thoughts on Catch a Wave. But in my mind, he's a chance of winning, but he's probably an outside chance. He's going to need a lot to go his way against some really good horses in Minstrel and Swayze.
Yeah, probably. And just having a quick look, I think, not sure what like Andy's or Kate's plans are, whether they just go back and save for one run or go forward and hope that potentially Swayze comes and gives them cover. But I think the front line is relatively even with gate speed, so it might be a bit hard for a horse like Catch a Wave to do that, even though he has been going so well, and his run at Gloucester Park last start was like probably one of his best, and the times he ran were outstanding. And I think a horse like Minstrel probably looks to find the front and then dictate and make it hard for horses like Swayze and Catch a Wave to make ground. So it'll be hard, but I think those three are definitely got winning chances depending on which way the race is ran.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Daz, I'm probably going to go with Swayze. I sort of just know what I'm going to get. To be honest, I don't know a heap about Minstrel. I know he's a good horse. He's probably going to find the front. I can just see a scenario where Swayze sits outside and then just proves too classy, in the run to the line. If Swayze had a draw where Minstrel drew, probably $1.30, $1.20. So, look, I'm going to go with Swayze. Catch a Wave, your thoughts? First of all, is 480 a shade of unders? And also, do you think the mighty Tex can win?
I think you said on radio this morning, Talk, that he usually does drift in the market, and 480's unders at the moment. And that's probably just because he was short before the barrier draw and he just probably hasn't got out to the price that he probably should be. It's probably around about a $7, $8, $9 chance, and I think he'll get out to that. The map looks pretty simple to a degree, and that Minstrel finds the front. I think everyone's saying that's the case. And then obviously Swayze comes and puts the pressure on. And when you go back to thinking, the reason for Catch a Wave going back to Perth was purely one of the motivating factors was that Swayze was in the race, so it was going to be a genuine run race. That's what they're going to get. As Ever said, how do they drive him? Do they go forward, then take a sit, or do they go straight back? I don't know. I really don't know. And don't profess to be an expert of WA racing at all. So all I know is it'll be a fast, genuine run race, and that means that Catch a Wave does get a chance late. But I'm a bit like you. I'll go for the one that I know, and that's Swayze sitting in the death, pouring the pressure on, and Minstrel trying to overcome that, which a horse like Don Hugo couldn't offset the pressure of Leap to Fame in New Zealand. So Minstrel's got a big test ahead, but I've got Swayze on top.
Yeah, Swayze for me. Just for the record, Eva, what are you going with? Which one? Minstrel, Swayze, or Catch a Wave?
I think I'd like to see Catch a Wave win, but I think I would probably go with Minstrel.
Okay, you're going with the likely front runner. Good stuff. Looking forward to that one. Victorian time what did I say? 11:35 our time here. Last race on the card at Gloucester Park. So looking forward to that. Can Tex go back to back in the Nullarbor? Logical Staffing Solutions provide labour hire and recruitment services to the transport, warehousing, automotive and manufacturing industries. The logical solution for your staffing needs. Last time Sir Jimmy crushed them 3 wide, so will he again give Pitty a great ride? We're talking about Melton on Saturday night. Race 1 on the card at 5:27 p.m. Horse 11 is Sir Jimmy. He was outstanding, Daz, last time out. I think he said on radio this morning about 1,100 metres. He was out 3 wide solo, and he was too good there. This is a slight step up in class. That was a 70 to 79. This is an 80 to 89. And we've got Ebba we'll go to shortly. She drives the Kari Males trained La Belle Bijou there in Barrier 2. I'm a little bit against him, Daz, but you quite fancy him, particularly at the price.
Yeah, I just think that I was against him last start, but he overcame that, and you got to go with the eye sometimes, and then sometimes the clock supports your eye. And went back and had a look at his replay again. He was 3 wide, no cover for the last, pulling out the top of the straight, the lap to go, and come home in 55.3 himself, and that's 3 wide. They just don't do that. And I know that what you're saying is up in class from a ratings point of view, but if you can go those kind of times, it doesn't matter. You just you prove that you're the class horse of the race. Looks a bit of speed off the front to me, so it depends on what happens. Or even a horse like La Belle Bijou, might be running, so it'll be interesting what Ever's got to say there. But I think he'll be put into the race when he can, or come 3 wide, no cover. And I see he was second favourite in markets this morning, and I thought that's the way to go. And I was surprised he was not favourite in the race.
Okay, so one of your better bets on the program, Daz?
Absolutely.
Okay. Eva, I've gone with Smoke and Ace. I thought there was a chance that he might get over to the fence and lead this race. He's going really well. He chased home the very smart Fighter Command last time out. I think you go back 3 or 4 starts ago. He won a race from 3 pegs, beating First Dance, who's come out and won a couple of times since. She sort of threw that race away, to be fair. But Smoke and Ace going really well. The main question for you is, can you produce a little boil over here with La Belle Bijou?
Yeah, Smoke and Ace is definitely going really well. I think it is a chance of probably finding the top, although I do think it goes better when they drive it for its speed because it is such a fast horse, but from the draw that sort of makes it difficult. And with Sir Jimmy as well, I think his run last start was phenomenal, but it is up in grade, and to produce a run like that 2 weeks in a row is a really big ask. And I think for him to be able to get in the race from back there will be quite hard because, I mean, they're not the back line, they're not free-for-allers, but they're borderline free-for-allers, so it is a big step up. And with my mare, she's actually been going really well. I mean, when I last drove her, she come 4th, and she went forward from 13 and still finished off, and really not many horses can do that, but she does lack a bit of gate speed, so I will just be trying to get her out as good as possible and then hopefully have a few options from there. But I think from 11, it is a bit hard for Sir Jimmy to win this week.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is good. We've got some differing views. Dad's pretty keen, and me and Evan not so keen on Sir Jimmy. I ended up with Smoke and Ace on top. Thought there was a few chances. Sweet Passion's going well. Many chances there. And even Raw for Oscar was good first up, hitting the line hard.
Absolutely.
But we're going to need some luck. So, really interesting race. That's the first on a big 9 race card at Melton, 5:27 p.m. APG sponsor our third question. And it's Aardies best is pretty hot, but can ever get this naughty girl to trot. We move on to race 6 on the card. Horse number 1, Aardies Peak. John Justice, the trainer. Ever Justice takes the drive. John had a go at getting her to trot last time ever. He was unsuccessful, but 2 starts ago, well, Herbie kind of got her to trot. She did make a mistake early days, and she went pretty rough in the run home, but she was too good. I would have loved to have had Andy on to ask what was the circumstance that he had this horse, and he's obviously said, I'm sick of trying to get her to trot, and he's passed her over to you guys. So can you weave some magic here? It'll be a really rewarding victory, I reckon, if you can get Aardies Peak home on Saturday night.
Yeah, it definitely would be. We've done a gear change. She's got half hobbles on, and she worked in her last hit out, and she was pretty good. But every day's a new day with her. So she was good last time, but you never know on Saturday. But I think the main thing with her is just sitting quiet and not pulling her out. Like when James drove her, he didn't have to pull out and just went up the middle and got quite lucky. But I think that's what she needs. And it is hard when you're driving a horse like her because you do know how much ability she has. And I think she could potentially be our best horse if she was able to put it together. But for now, it's you sort of just have to pray every time you go out there. And I think she's pretty good out of the draw, out of the mobile. So I think one won't worry her too much. It's just depending on like not wanting to bustle her too much early. Hopefully we don't have to end up too far back on the fence. But if she does do everything right and trots, look, I think she's a lot better than this field. I mean, I think she's one of our best horses. So in this type of field, I think she would be winning if she trots, but it all depends on if she trots, which, yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath.
Well, it's all over to you. You first race drive with her. Herbie hasn't been able to give you any tips from America, has he, on how to get her to do it all right? He was able to get a victory on her 2 starts ago.
No, he hasn't. He sort of says the same thing. You just got to hope for the best.
And was there any? Have you spoken to Andy about her? Sorry, Daz. What was the reason that she left the Gath stable? Was his patience just running a bit thin?
Dad's actually had a long-term sort of friendship with that owner. He sold him a horse a few years ago to Canada because he lives in Canada and he sort of owns horses everywhere, all the Aardies horses. And Dad just had a long friendship with him and he was talking about sending him Aardie by the Hill and wanted him to have a go with this one because it's been such a headache. And yeah, it's still been a headache, but I'm glad we've won a race with her.
Yeah, for sure. Back to you, Daz.
I'll just her rating's 52. So she's eligible for much weaker class races. So you had no hesitation in throwing her into a race like this.
Yeah, no, I think it's probably a lot better for this sort of race. I mean, this was out of Baron Boyd's sort of grade, and when they worked, she would beat him by a long way. And so I don't think that worries her at all, and it probably suits her better because you're not going to have to be wide on the track from one, hopefully. I mean, anything could happen, but that was sort of the intention behind it.
And Eva, would she beat a horse like Mufasa Metro in work at home?
Well, they haven't worked together yet, but they would definitely finish together if they were to work together.
Yeah, that's if you can just get her right, she's going to be a really handy horse for the stable. Daz,
we've gone broke, haven't we?
Yeah, well, I got something back out of her a couple of starts ago. I'm going to go with her again. I'm probably not going to back her, but I'm going to tip her on top because I do think if she trots and just gets any luck at all, I think she'll win. But you're going to go with one that's potentially a bit more safe?
Yeah, look, I'm a massive fan. We've tipped in nearly every start probably and kept thinking there was, this will be the time we get sucked into trials and things like that. But, I've got to just her ability is unquestionable. I'll probably just go the reliable one and go Lady in the Sky, but that's not saying that she can't win. And I hope for Eva's sake that she shows everyone else off and gets her around safely and blitzes. She'll be ducking and weaving late and she'll be hitting the line very hard under a grip.
Yeah, or she'll be 100 metres at the back. Hopefully that's not the case. Looking forward to that interview, Eva. If we can get her home tomorrow, I'll be on track. So I'd like a salute and a high five when we come back to.
I don't reckon she'd be the kind of horse you want to do a salute on, would you? You'd be still holding on for the last 1 metre.
After the post.
Yeah, after the post, I'll have to salute.
Bit of Greg Sugars with Just Believe in the Inter-Dominion at Melton that night. Looking forward to that one. The last of our questions. Lavita keeps stepping up to the plate, but will she again be the punter's mate? I've had a bit of fun with this horse with the Lee family. I've been potting her and taking her on start after start, and she's just about got a picket fence on her form lines. Race 9, number 3, Kiang Lavita. She takes on horses like Destria, Aldebaran Miley, Pitty, More Wanted, Avant-Garde, Nephew of Sunoco, and El Rosamo. I'll go to you here, Eva. Look, she's been really good her last 2, Kiang Lavita. I have had a little bit of fun with Jason Lee and Paddy Lee. She has been given the front, not given the front, but been able to work to the front at the bell her last 2 times and probably entitled to win those races. And now she steps up again in grade against some really handy horses like a Pitty and Avant-Garde. I think she's a risk again, personally, and I'll be taking her on but that sets me up for failure once again. What do you think here in the final event, Eva?
Yeah, I don't think she is blessed with gate speed. I think when they tried to bustle her out, I think I was in the race without a Baron Boyd and she broke into the first turn, sort of just trying to hold a position. So I don't think her gate speed is her number one asset, whereas a horse like Pitty does fly the mobile and looks like it could potentially find the fence if a horse like Baron Miley decides to let it go. And then King Lavita will probably have to be the best horse in the race to sort of win a race like that. And I think Avant Garde would nearly be the class horse, but he just lacks a lot of gate speed and over the shorter trip probably won't suit him. But yeah, I'm probably with you, Tim, and would probably be leaning towards a horse more like Avant Garde or Penny.
Yeah, they're my two. I've ended up with Penny on top ahead of Avant Garde just for the fact that I thought Penny might be able to work over and find the front, Daz. Tricky race, interesting race. How did you see the final event?
Yeah, I did a bit more work on this after we spoke on the radio talk, purely because, I just found it a fascinating race, really. If you're ever going to take on Lavita, this would be the one you'd take it on. Like its last two wins have been in 60 to 69 rating races. This time it jumps up to a 70 to 85. So it's a massive rise when you think about it. And these horses that it's against have all been racing consistently in those 70 to 85 races. So, and
she won't find the front.
Ever's point's critical here. Does she find the front? And we're all thinking, no, she doesn't. You've got gate speed with Miley. You've got gate speed with Penny, who can really get out quick. And she had no luck at all last start as well. So who's the winner? Penny, Avant Garde, as Eva said, looks the class runner. He can do work. All I'm saying is you wouldn't be taking the 220 or whatever is on offer at the moment.
240 at the moment, Sportsbet.
Yeah, too short.
Yeah, Penny $3, Avant Garde $4.80, Aldebaran Riley $6.50, Destry at $9, double figures the rest. Great race, interesting race to complete the card. We'll go to the Sharps Bakery best bets. Eva, your record's becoming quite good recently, isn't it?
Oh, I wouldn't call it good.
Don Hugo in the Interdominion Grand Final. Was there another one before or after that?
I'm not sure, but I think the Interdominion one made up for all the bad ones.
Yeah, just on the biggest stage, just where you come to the fore. Righto, what is your Sharps Bakery best bet?
You didn't add that in the question, so I know what you always ask, but I completely slipped my mind, so I'm going to try and come up with
I reckon go back in your text. It should be there. I'm pretty sure it's there.
It's not.
Go and have a look. It's there.
Anyway.
Maybe I'll come up with one. I'll give Eva some time.
All right, you go first, Daz.
Sharps Bakery, great sponsors. Also sponsors of the Malibu Cup talk. We should give that a plug. Hasn't been given a plug so far. And the great Lockheed lad winning the Malibu Cup. So thanks to Sharps Bakery there. Best bet.
I've got my trophy here, sadly. It's up the end of the house. Next to the Tassie Cup.
My best bet, everyone's been against this so far. I'm gonna stick thick. I'm gonna go Sir Jimmy in race 1 at Melton tomorrow night. I know it's gonna have to do some work, but I'm gonna stick strong and go with that as my best bet. What about you, Toc?
Well, Eva, I'm just going to suggest one for you. Go Aardies Peak and make a real hero of yourself. Come on.
If I go Aardies Peak, she will definitely gallop.
You go Aardies Peak then, Toc.
No chance. I'm going to go one tonight. I know we're both keen on this one. Yeah, and this could be a risky scenario. 2-year-old trotter.
Last start, didn't it? It wasn't its fault last start.
No, it wasn't. Race 10 tonight at what time? 10:28 p.m. We've got $1.95 available. Race 10, number 4, El Perfecto, was knocked over at the bell last time out. No fault of her own. She was off the screen. She was even off the the little tracker on the bottom of the screen, Daz.
Yes.
And she worked her way back on there and flew home with clearly the best last half of the race. It was a great run from her. I think if she trots the whole way tonight, she'll win. And I reckon the $1.95 is pretty good. So my best bet tonight ever, race 10, number 4, El Perfecto. We've given you a few minutes. What have you come up with?
So just having a quick look at the fields for Saturday, I think race 5, number 1, Nova Baxter each way. She's been going really well. I mean, she was held up last start and I trialled her first start. She's got a really nice sprint on her and drawn 1. She's sort of here to win a MO and I think on here she's $21. I'm not sure what odds she's going to be on tab each way, but I think she's a really good chance of running a place from that draw. And yeah, I'm going to go with her.
Yeah, good. I don't mind that. We were talking about that horse this morning, Daz. What have you got a market in front of you? It should be a reasonable price.
After we gave a little bit of a plug this morning, I noticed it was backed in from about to about $8.50 and $2 a place or something. So, so still each way. And yeah, I agree, Eva. Looks like getting a really good run. So was backed in the market last week. So good luck.
Well, Eva obviously jumped on before burning questions and had something on.
She did.
No, she didn't. Great stuff, guys. Looking forward to the big Nullarbor slot race tonight. Good luck to Catch a Wave. Go the Vicks. And, of course, racing tomorrow night at Melton. Eva, thanks for jumping on. Daz, thanks for you to you as well.
Thank you. Have a good...
No worries.
Good end that day, guys.
The first race tomorrow night. Join me for the coverage on Sky Racing and at thetrots.com.au. The first to go at 5:27 p.m.
Green light, they're away. And they're all in their positions, ready to go. There's the light up. In true Mildura stock.
The green light's on. It was a beautiful start of...
He's trying to get across.